Hello, I'm Bren, Explain Carded X, or Connor, and welcome back to Paintober. This is a commander captain of the Tau proxies. I really like how he turned out. I really liked how the gun turned out, actually. I was looking at a lot of the reference pictures that One Page Rules has for the captain, and it was not what I was looking for. So I wound up making something a little bit better with the details at hand, and it turned out much, much nicer than I had actually expected it to, which is very, very cool. Otherwise, he's the kind of bog standard. He's that same red, black, gold that the others had been. However, there is a meme I put in here because I did a little bit of freehand on the banner, which turned out to be a little bit more like a certain symbol than I was expecting. Now, it's not the symbol that you're expecting, hopefully, fingers crossed. Um, and it's not a bad symbol, I should say, but I don't want to spoil it because it wound up looking pretty cool, I guess. But no, other than that, it did come out quite well. This is a little bit longer of an episode because he does have little details. I especially had work done on that sword of his. I gave it the little katana braces that it has in real life. I don't know what that is called, but it's those little waves in the blade, which I love the look of, and it's very hard to do that on something like this because they're very small, and so you can't put enough wave per wave as you should be able to, but it is what it is. Also, I do actually fix the camera a little bit on this episode, which is very, very cool, so you can see what the hell I'm painting. Finally, the guy's learning whenever he's doing stuff, but I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that just the way? Yeah, he does look pretty cool. I'm excited to show off the end of it. Also, I mean, obviously for the thumbnail, it's going to be the finished product anyway, so that's whatever, doesn't really matter to me. I just I like the whole painting part of it. But yeah, he does wind up pretty neat towards the end. I'm just doing the banner here, which will have that symbol along the back of it. And I don't know what their stats are. I don't know actually what um, their data sheets and stuff are. I would have to look, I guess, at the one page rules stuff because these are the. I've been forgetting to say this. These are the Eternal Dynasty people. So they have their own rules amongst that sort of stuff, which is pretty neat, honestly. Doing doing the good old fashioned pick up, put down, pick up, put down. I'm reinforcing the black on the jumpsuit pieces and the little quilted lines and stuff. I'm going to do the same thing I wound up doing with the previous guy and just kind of edge highlighting those because I like the way that looked. That little quilted feel of it, I guess. It looked pretty neat. And these guys, I only have as a base coat, I think one highlight and a little bit of shading because I didn't want to overload them with extra stuff. Otherwise, I tend to do maybe a rough highlight and an edge highlight on them, but I just did not do it for this dude. I'm taking some of this white and I'm putting it in the visor as well as anywhere else that needs to have a little bit brighter of a look to it. I do like how his visor came out. The color I use later down the line, I forget what exactly the name of it is. I think it's Soulstone Sapphire or Soulstone Blue or something along those lines. But it's a technical that is, I think, more so for jewels and gems and everything, but you can use it for the visor and stuff like that, which is what I use it here. And I think it gives it kind of a neat little glow, a nice little contrast to the nearby areas of just black and reds. I think that turns out well. That solid little piece of contrast to it. I'm having to clean up some of the little extra lines I wound up doing here, sadly, but otherwise it's not too bad. I know I did red for the ninja, which I'm reconsidering. But I do have multiple of these. I think I have maybe 20 in total of things I need to paint for this army. So, but I don't know if I'll get to those in Paintober or otherwise. Mainly because that's a whole lot of dudes. That's a whole lot of dudes to be painting. Doing Dryad Bark again here. I think it just contrasts so well with the red, with that deep red, and then that extra dark black that's going on it. I think that turns out really, really well when it comes to the little leathers, especially if I did a highlight of it, which I don't think I do a highlight of that. I think I only wanted it to be for a certain amount of time, and so I wound up not doing them for very long. Oh, here's my highlights. I think these are the first highlights for my quilted stuff, right? Oh, look at that line. That line was fantastic. That one made me quite pleased. I had to show that one off specifically because I really liked how that turned out. I did the same highlights I did on the other guys, so the quilted legs are going to look kind of fancy, as well as the boots and little pieces like that. And then I'm getting on to the red bits, which need just a little bit of a highlight. They don't need too much here, just enough to make them stand out. You can see some of the little pieces there I did on the arms, the fingers, the other pieces on the kind of arm vembraces, I think is how you say that. The little cape that's around him, his boots, his chest piece. I don't think I did anything on his helmet, which is a little bit rough. I'm doing a rough contrast, not a contrast, a rough gradient on the flag here, trying to make it just a little bit brighter towards the top and keeping it kind of dull and dark on the bottom there. I don't remember if I throw Agrax Earthshade or if I throw Nuln Oil on this just to darken that transition up, but either way, it did not end up too bad. What are we painting next here? Is this our gold? Yeah, I think it's gold. Or is that the highlights? I did do highlights. Oh my god. Did highlights with a Mournfang on the Dryad Bark. Holy crap. Saying the names of Warhammer paints is my favorite part of painting most of the times. It's just so... it's ridiculous names most of the time. I forgot I did a highlight of Mournfang also. I guess, yeah, I edited this morning and I was very tired. I'm doing the voiceover for these just kind of in the nighttime, so if it sounds like I'm trying to keep it down, that's probably true because it is late. Also, why I most likely sound so drowsy. I'm trying to figure out what the hell words are again. Oh, there's our metallics, our lead belcher metallics. Do so on his little ab cage there and the belt. I think I also do it on part of the gun. The gun I love. I love how... I think it's more... sorry, to be on a different topic here entirely. The shade I did for the flag is probably Agrax because it looks like I browned it towards the bottom. Trying to get like a nice solid piece of that lead belcher to really bevel in those little waves of the... I don't want to say it's a katana. Maybe it is a katana. It could just be a long sword. I'm not proficient in the ways of identifying stuff that's fingernail, width, so is what it is. Do I finally get to that gold? Oh, there's the gold. There's that Retributor really tying everything together. I forgot how much I highlighted the legs there. It does not look bad though. God, I love that. I love that color scheme. I am really happy that I decided to stick with this. I was gonna just do maybe a green or blue army, like I've just continued to do so, but I think having these guys, I found a little hair there, having these guys set along my space. Oh, you could see the waves really well there. I do enjoy how that looked. I do enjoy how that looked. That was cool. I like that. But it's going to be really nice once I have like a dedicated shelf for Warhammer stuff. For my Space Marines, my little blue Space Marines with bronze and blue, and my Tau proxies with gold, red, and black, and my regular Tau with that same blue and gray. My Seraphon with their 30 different colors. It's going to be neat. I changed my paint out here. I thought that was the coolest transition ever. That was an instant. I was smiling so big while I did that. I thought it was so freaking cool. Here I'm adding just that little bit of blue. I don't know what the hell this gun is. It could be an Inferno style pistol or whatever, but I'm adding that blue anyways. What am I doing with the white? What am I doing here? What am I? Oh, here's the freehand. The freehand event. I had to get another hair. I don't know where these little hairs are coming from. It's probably from the dog. He do be shedding all the time. But no, this little freehand, I'm going to show you one of the strokes, the nice little strokes here, so you have an idea as to how that's going to look. But I didn't want to spoil it. I just want to show you the final product because this turned out to be way different than I thought it was going to be. Oh, the final countdown. I think I was talking to somebody at the time while I was looking at that, but maybe I wasn't pleased with that back flag. Oh, look at how cool he looks. For somebody that doesn't have 100,000 highlights and gradients and stuff, I really like how this goes. Bam! Look at that. It's the freaking Oblivion symbol. It's the Elder Scrolls Oblivion symbol. I accidentally did that, and I was like, okay, that's great. All right, take care. I'll see you tomorrow, probably.